The knife is a Spyderco Paramilitary 2. Spyderco is a high-end cutlery company specializing in pocket knives. It got its name from the CEO Sal Glesser, who has a son, Eric, who has arachnophobia. And Sal thought it would be funny to torture him for several decades by naming the company after the one thing that scares him shitless. Kind of a sick joke if you ask me. Why I prefer CEOs that aren't involved in any controversy, like Mick Strider, Les DeAssis, and Lynn Thompson. S30V is one of the few blade steels designed specifically for cutlery use. It was designed thousands of years ago by a man named Dick Barber at Crucible Industries for Chris Reeve. Very well-rounded blade steel in regards to corrosion resistance, toughness, and edge retention. I don't know why I'm talking about that. This knife is in Crewware. Crewware is a tough steel and a good choice for me because I like to misuse knives. Picked it up several years ago at a blade show. I asked somebody if they could show me how they used their knife sharpener there. It's a very interesting one. It was called the Sharp Maker, I believe. There were several knives on the table, so when he picked up one of the knives to show me how the sharpener works, I noticed he wasn't looking, and I was able to get this knife. Just glad he didn't catch me. It had a decent edge on it, but I had to test it. First I went on cardboard, and it made quick work of the cardboard. It just completely obliterated it. As you can see, there's no cardboard around here. Enough said. After that, I moved on to wood, and I didn't have any, so I had to walk into the woods. And eventually found a pine tree and went to work on that. This is all that's left of the pine tree. The blade performed extremely well, considering it had an edge on it that wasn't sharpened by me. But after the test, I had to sharpen the knife. Started with the DMT coarse diamond plate. Worked with that. Apex formation, burr formation. Traded the burr from side to side. Minimized the burr before moving on. Went on to a Spyderco fine diamond plate. Then to an extra fine diamond plate. Then extra fine. Then insanely fine. Then outstandingly fine. Then outrageously fine. And then I went to the Spyderco ultra fine stone. Worked with that. Brought the sharpness up. Eliminated previous scratch patterns. After that, I moved on to the ultimate fine stone by Spyderco. Worked with that. Tiny burr from side to side. Then I moved on to a series of strops on leather. Started with a 3 micron. Worked with that. Burr completely eliminated. If you're not eliminating your burr on the first drop, you're just wasting your time. After the 3 micron, moved on to a 1, then a half micron, then a quarter micron, 1/10 of a micron, then a 0.05 micron, then a 0.0025 micron, then a 0.003 micron, and finally ended with an abrasive finer than a divine fusion between Halle Berry and Rihanna. This knife is so sharp I don't even want to look at it. The edge that came up was so sharp that it makes a surgeon's scalpel seem like a spoon. Can't even whittle hairs. I'm just going to keep this knife closed. It's a little too dangerous. To say this knife is the sharpest knife in the world is absolutely a fair statement. And crewware is extremely difficult to sharpen. The vanadium content in this knife is absolutely out of this world. And I believe I am the only person capable of sharpening this knife at the moment. You have to train with Buddhist monks in a monastery for several years before you attain Shaolin master sharpener status like myself. But anyway, this is a good model, and I'm really glad that Guy the Blade Show wasn't looking.